All right, everybody. Thanks. Welcome to the author marketing panel. During this 12 o'clock hour, we have these two wonderful authors speaking, Sasha Marshall and Missy Jane. Hopefully, Sasha joins us here soon. But we have Missy here with us right now. Crush wants to thank the Sex Symbol Podcast for sponsoring today's panel. If you're looking for a couple ladies who know how to shake things up, these are your gals. So we're going to start a little impromptu off the script. Missy, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, yeah, I am Missy Jane. I have been published since 2009. I write romance with erotic elements. I write urban fantasy, paranormal romance, and contemporary romance. I started out with small presses, Alora's Cave Publishing, Samhain Publishing, Sapphire Blue, and they closed down. And I was also published through Entangled Publishing. And then a few years ago, got the rights back to all of my work and have started self-publishing all of my previous works as well as some new works to continue series that I had begun. I recently signed a contract with Rowan Prose Press as well. And I have a lot of books out. That's pretty much it.
How many books do you have currently?
Um, 20 plus.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't,
Congratulations.
thank you. Don't actually know off the top of my head. Um, Good, because I still have some that had previously been published that have not been republished yet. So when someone asks me that question, I'm like total, or that you can buy, or what do you mean? Be more specific. So yeah, I have over 20 books, most of which are currently available.
All right. So you're this is right up in your wheelhouse then. I think Skylar assigned me to be the moderator for this particular section because I am terrible at author marketing. So hopefully you can guide me and everybody else here to better our marketing strategies. Speaking of marketing strategies, notice that awesome segue. How do you plan your marketing strategy? Do you have a specific one? What's your process?
Well, I don't have a specific plan. To be honest, I'm not. So in my mind, there's kind of two types of authors. The ones that go at it as a business, that have the plans and have the strategies and everything set out. And then there's me, and ones like myself. I mean, I have a day job. I don't have to make money off my writing. So my books are more than a hobby, but not quite a career. So when it comes to marketing, when I first started out, I was all in it. I had a lot going on because the publishers at the time, they want to know, what are you going to do to help us help you sell your books? And after I transitioned into self-publishing, I really did kind of let go of a lot of that. But some things that have always worked for me, in-person events I've always done a lot better at in-person events or even any kind of convention. So even this, just to get my face in front of people. I am a people person. I mean, even in my day life, my day job, I've always done customer facing jobs. And so I am not the introvert that writers are typically known to be. I make friends at the grocery store, like standing in line. Honestly, I'll talk to anybody. So I do really well with getting myself out there if I'm in front of readers. So I do try to do in-person events as much as I can. And then as for at the events themselves, um, I do a lot of like postcards and bookmarks and goodie bags and anything to get, you know, for them to take home with them. But my rule of thumb on those types of things is never hand out something that someone's going to throw away. So I don't do like candy wrappers and, you know, hand sanitizer bottles or something that they're going to use up and throw away. Pens are always, everybody wants a pen. Post-it notes are iffy because then when they finish them, then that's gone. But when it comes to just getting your name out there, you need to create a brand. You need to start with a good website. You need to start with a logo. You absolutely need a logo. And you need to start with a tagline. So originally, when I first started out, my tagline was make reading a guilty pleasure. And I thought it was good. Everybody liked it. Like I had no problems with it. But as I've changed not only my writing, but just my process and everything, my new tagline is now I like my stories steamy. There are, back when I first started, trigger warnings weren't really a thing. A lot of people could tell just from the cover of my books what I wrote, but things have changed so dramatically just in the last few years that authors have to be a lot more upfront. I still have shirtless guys on some of my covers, but not all of them. But when people see I have a drape over my that goes over the table that has my logo, has my name, and says, "I like my stories steamy." If someone walks up or even from across the room and they see that, they immediately know what I write. They know whether to approach my table or not, even before they see the book covers. So, when it comes to marketing your books and yourself, the biggest thing I would say is be upfront about what you write and make sure it's really obvious.
Definitely. Ellie just said she wants to do drink coasters. That might be good.
Yeah.
Um, so what would you say are some of the biggest challenges that you yourself face with marketing your books?
Um, Budget, to be honest, is probably my biggest setback. I try not to spend a whole lot more than I make. And again, I don't put forth the amount of effort that a professional author who is living off their royalties does.
Hmm.
And there's no right or wrong way to do this. I'm not knocking people who do that or knocking people like myself who this is not my main source of income. So I try not to invest any more than that, but I always do.
Now,
I love buying stuff to give away to people. So yeah, but if I had an unlimited budget, there really wouldn't be that much holding me back. But because of my limited budget, I don't do like the Facebook ads that people do, or even on Goodreads. There's so many promotional opportunities that cost money that could probably really get my name out there a lot more that I don't do those things.
now, do you do like there's some like author shout out or book shout out? Do you like independent like websites that promote your books like that, or do you not do that at all?
Not as much as I used to. There
Okay.
used to be the Yahoo groups.
Yeah.
I was in a plethora of those. I'm in a few Facebook groups that'll allow some self-promo, but honestly, I don't dedicate the time to it that I did when I first started out. And I've seen the change. I mean, to me, if you can schedule like one full day of promo, of online promo, engage in those groups, um, do the Twitter shout out the whatchamacallits, the I can't remember the hashtag, but it's to promote all authors and whatever. If you can do that religiously every single week for at least a day, you'll see a difference. Everybody would see a difference in even in just their reader count or their follower count on any of the social media if you can be consistent. And I'm not as consistent as I used to be, and I've seen the drop. Um, so that is definitely one way. Just stay visible is really the biggest thing.
Okay. Speaking of staying visible, as far as newsletters go, do you currently have a newsletter?
Yes.
And
Yes.
how do you go about cultivating that newsletter in a manner that's efficient and effective?
So originally, well, I mean, still, what I do is when I'm at in-person events, I do have a sign up. I have a little sign up form, and I do engage with people. Now, my newsletter, I'm not an author that puts it out monthly, um, religiously or even weekly. Or there's some authors that my inbox gets flooded by newsletters, and for that reason, and I tell people this when I point out my newsletter sign up, I only send out newsletters if I'm going to have a new release or an appearance somewhere because there's already so much flooding everybody's inbox. But I recently did a promotion, a contest promotion through Fresh Fiction. They're out of Dallas and they do a lot of author promo. They do some freebies and then also paid author promo. And the way to enter for me was for people to sign up for my newsletter, and it shot up. I had a lot. So I was expecting to be losing, a big amount of subscribers over the subsequent months. And I really haven't. I've lost maybe 10, and it's been 3 or 4 months. I think it was January, if I remember correctly, December, January. So I haven't lost as many as I was afraid was going to, I thought, oh, everyone's going to sign up for the contest. And then over the next few months, they're all going to go away. And that didn't happen, luckily. So I think it does help that my newsletters are pretty concise, to the point. Whatever my subject line, that's what's in the newsletter. I don't put recipes in there and do a lot like some other authors do, which is fine if that's what the reader is expecting. But for my newsletter, people know I have something very specific to tell you, and that's all the newsletter is about. And so it's worked for me.
You spoke a little bit earlier about budgeting and using your time. Now, when you speak about budgeting, do you talk about like promoting as far as like online? How do you go about um, making sure that you're spending what is enough time, I guess I should ask, that would you spend online for promoting your books?
So if I have a new release, I try for at least the first week to post about it once a day, even if it's not on every social media that I'm on, but at least on something at least once a day, just to keep it visible, just to let people know. Um, but between new releases, I would say at least once, maybe an hour a week, really dedicate to just being there, being online, for a solid hour, going through various social media platforms, not just a single one, and just talking, saying, for people who are cat lovers, my Instagram is almost nothing but like there's more cats than books on my Instagram. And that's something else that I do. Like Instagram is very cat focused, obviously, because it's a lot easier to take pictures on my phone and post it to Instagram. And so I have the cat lovers there. Facebook is more of my social. Like I will talk about other stuff and my family and other things on Facebook than I do anywhere else. Twitter is very precisely, hey, I have a new release. Hey, I'm going to be here. Nothing else. I don't really engage when it comes to Twitter. And those are the three main social medias that I use. But because I do have a lot going on in my life, and again, I have a Monday through Friday job, I try to just dedicate at least an hour on Sunday, if no other day, to really engage on social media.
Okay. And when you do those posts, I know Skylar, I think, does this too. Do you schedule them out ahead of time, or do you just kind of put them out helter skelter? Like I do it. I do it as soon as I think about it. And Skylar is
Yeah,
one of those. She has to put them out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at this time, at this time, at this
yeah.
time. I have
I
no patience for that.
I used to. I used to be really good about that. I had like TweetDeck and all that where I could do the scheduled. And again, if I had a new release, I had a tweet scheduled every 3 hours, like clockwork, with like a little teaser and whatever. And I used to be really good about that. I really don't do it that much anymore. Now it is pretty much just in the moment, especially Instagram, again, because for me, Instagram, it's just like, what picture is on my phone right now for me to do this, and just what I'm thinking to do at that time or what's, on my mind at that time. So yeah, I'm very much in the moment now.
You spoke about I'm going off the script a little bit with these
Uh-huh.
questions. So,
That's
um,
okay.
you had mentioned you use Instagram for your cat posts and you use Facebook for like the discussion. I sometimes I link the two together.
Hmm.
So it posts from Instagram to Facebook or Facebook to Instagram. Do
Hmm.
you rather have each individual platform as its separate entity? So like all the cat lovers will kind of gravitate towards Instagram and not so much towards Facebook?
Well, it's not on purpose, to be
Okay.
honest. So what happened was I used to be on Facebook as Missy Jane. I had an author Missy Jane page and then my regular just profile Missy Jane. My page got hacked and it was associated with the email for, Missy Jane. And so I had to start all over, scrap all of that. In fact, if you go to Facebook and put in author Missy Jane and go to the page, the first part of it is like weight loss or some BS. And then if you scroll down, you'll see my old photos and stuff. But I had to completely start over. So I'm MJ Aragon on Facebook and /Missy Jane. And so my Instagram is still Miss Missy Jane. It's still the original. So I had to, because I had to start over, I can't link them anymore. Meta's all confused and they won't fix it. Nobody will talk to me. So
No, yeah, they're not very helpful in
they're
that
not
regard.
helpful. I have no customer service. So I can't, to me, it's not worth my time to try and get that unscrambled. I did try initially at the very beginning a couple of years ago when this happened. And within a whole day of realizing this, they're just not going to worry about it, I decided not to worry about it. Started Facebook completely over. So yeah, Instagram, all my posts are separate only for that reason, because I can't link them because it's two different emails and they don't like that. So
All right. We are about halfway through this session, so I have to give out the first scavenger hunt word for the day.
yeah.
So
Mhm.
everybody keep track of these on some pen and paper or whatnot. Today's first word, hopefully it doesn't bode that well for the rest of this session. If you were here earlier, you kind of know what I'm talking about. The word is curse. Curse. Hopefully the rest of this day is not cursed.
Too soon, too soon.
I know,
Yeah,
I
right.
know, I
Hey, at
know.
least it wasn't porn. Yeah.
That would be a hard one to keep track of.
That'd be funny.
Anyway, back to the
I think
question.
that's the second word, isn't it?
Not on my script
Well, for this hour.
for this hour, yes.
Oh, this hour.
Oh, so on the script, so yeah, the first word was before, and copy paste apparently, it's still on mine. It says first, but it should be second. Yes.
Hmm.
Okay, great. Thanks.
I won't begrudge Skylar for accidentally not changing first to second. Anyway, so we're gonna go back to resources. What kind of resources do you find helpful for marketing your book?
Um, so online, um, everyone I think should have a link tree. Sometimes when I'm talking to people in person, other authors, and they don't even know what link tree is, and I'm like, no, get yourself a link tree. It's extremely helpful because it is one link that goes to everything. It's a menu for anybody who doesn't know. Actually, I'll post my link tree in the chat. It's one link, but when you click on the link, it's a menu and it shows my website and my newsletter and all of my social medias. Everything is on there. And there is a free option, which is what I'm always looking for, is the free options. So you don't have to pay to create a link tree. Um, also, so in-person events, it's really important to have either postcards or bookmarks. Again, I try not to make anything that's going to be easily thrown away. And pens are also, even people who have picked up 20 pens in the room are still going to pick up a pen because everybody always wants pens.
I have a
Um,
pen from like 4 years ago, so yeah.
yeah, and I'm the worst. I have like multiple mugs of pens, like it's ridiculous. But yeah, so for me, what works for me is just giving things away. Everybody wants something for free. So if you're at an in-person event, giveaways, with your name on it, name and website. Those are really the two main things that need to be on there. I believe most of mine say author Missy Jane, not just my name, and then the website. And then some of them will have I like my story steamy. So that way, again, they know exactly what they're getting. They know exactly what kind of author I am without me even having to say anything. Um, so yeah, those are what works for me.
Do you have personalized tea bags? Because that might be interesting. Keep it. I like my book Stevie with the
No, that's
tea.
a good idea. But again, I try not to give anything that's going to be thrown away. So like
Right.
that would be on
The
the
tea bag would
wrapper.
be. Yeah, you're
Yeah, that
right.
would be on the wrapper of the tea bag and that would go in the trash. So,
That's true. That's
yeah.
true. Speaking of freebies, I know anybody that's been in book fairs or actually in-person things will kind of know what I'm kind of talking about. When you have a bunch of readers coming up to your table, um, what are some characteristics that you look for in knowing the difference between those that are just wanting that free pen or that free keychain and someone that actually wants to buy your book? And a second question to that, how much time do you spend on each type of person?
if there is nobody else in front of me and someone walks up, so the way that I know is basically where are their eyes. If their eyes go to the books, then they're interested in the books, and I immediately start talking about my books. Which actually, I immediately start talking about my books with everybody who walks up. And what I do is I start with the genres in case they miss that whole steamy thing. I tell them I write romance, and then I tell them because I have the way I have it set up, I'll have my paranormal together, I have my fantasy together, and I have my urban fantasy. And I'll tell them this is what I have. The urban fantasy is not spicy, everything else is spicy. So they know right off the top what they have. Because I have a lot of people that come up that I can't tell how old they are. Especially if
Sure.
it's an event with us, families and stuff are coming up. Sometimes I'll have these young girls come up and I'm like, I don't know how old these girls are, but I'm not gonna, I'm not their parent. And so I say right off, that way I'll know. And if their eyes stay on my books, then I'll say, pick it up, read the blurb, and some of them I'll even hand it to them if they're really staring at the book but not touching it. I think some people are afraid to touch my books because they don't know how I'm going to react, So I'll say, no, here, and I'll hand them the books or read the blurb, see what you think. And if they come up and their eyes just glance at the books or don't look at the books at all, but look straight at the goodie bags or pens or whatever I happen to have at the table, then I'll tell them, take a goodie bag. My info's in there. All of these are available as ebooks. And that gives them permission to go ahead and grab what they want, especially when I say, oh, they're available as ebooks. The QR codes are on the back of the postcards. Take the postcards. And so then, like, oh, okay, that gives them the excuse to grab what they want and walk away. Because a lot of people I've noticed, there are people who are interested, but they don't want to talk to anybody. They don't
Right.
want to make eye contact with me. They don't want to engage. They want to get the info and walk away, and that's totally fine. So the goodie bags that I make up have a pen and my bookmark, and then whatever. Sometimes I have little things like I used to have these little magnifying glasses. Some of them I still have some of those, or some have stickers in them. So just depending on the event and what I have on hand, is what's in the goodie bag. But the goodie bags are they're all different colors and they look cute, and those get people to my table. Those attract attention as soon as someone is within eyesight of my table and they see a mound of goodie bags on my table, they come to see what is that? Is it free? And so I hand a lot of those out.
Uh, where do you find places to like where do you find places to purchase pens and book bags and postcards that will customize that? Do you have like a real like where do you find them?
So I don't remember how Vistaprint got on my radar, but I've been using Vistaprint for 15 years. I mean, I've been using them the whole time. And back in the day when they first started, they did a lot of freebies. They would do a lot of free samples, and that's how I got started with them. And they don't do freebies anymore, but they do send me a lot of coupons and percentages off. They have a lot of sales. So what I do with Vistaprint, I get the 4x6 postcards. I arrange it to where it's two vertical images, and then I have, a paper slicer. I slice them in half, and those are my bookmarks. I get sometimes if I do t-shirts or if I do signage, I get all of that from Vistaprint. Pens, I use National Pen. And again, I've been using them for a while now, so I get discounts from them as well. I get magnets that they're it's oh, that's not showing up. Hang on. You see that? No, I think it's at the
No,
background. You can't really see it.
I can
So
kind of
it's
see it now.
yeah, it's a calendar magnet. It's got like my email, I mean my web address and stuff at the top. But those I get through National Pen as well. And those I get because I do a signing every year in December, and then now there's a new signing in February I've started doing. So the ones that are at the end of the year and the beginning of the year, I can give away calendars. But they're heavy. When you get a stack of them, it's kind of heavy. But so Vistaprint, National Pen, and then for the little giveaways, I get the bags, for example, I get from Amazon. And just the little, just cheap things that I put in the bags, I got an Oriental Trading Company. And just you can get like a lot of like rubber duck with their plastic, not rubber, but the little ducks and just, I mean, it's kind of like just junk, but people love little free things.
They do.
And yeah, so I'll just get little things like that in theme. So like my December event, I have Christmas stuff, this Christmas themed stuff. If it's in February, it's Valentine's Day. If any of my signings are around a holiday, my table decor and my giveaways, I try to have in the theme of whatever the holiday is.
All right. We are 3 minutes out from our next session, so I'm going to open up the floor for one quick question if anybody has any questions. Anybody? Going once?
No, I don't have
Going.
a question, but I do want to let you know that the link after you sign up on your newsletter, the
Uh-huh.
link to the website doesn't work, or at least not for
Oh, okay. Thank you for letting me know. I'll have to look and see. You know what, so my website, I am not tech savvy like at all. And I had changed my website from actually I've changed it a few times and I'm back to WordPress. So I did what I thought I needed to do to let the uh web gods know that I've changed to a different platform or whatever it's called. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So we'll see if I can figure
Alrighty.
out how to fix that.
All right. So thank you, everybody, for spending the last 40 minutes with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Next, in the Reader's Lounge, we have author Ranch Hand for an author takeover. After that, we will have the author track panel, author collaboration, and the reader track panel, LGBTQ plus in erotica. Make sure you take note of the scavenger hunt word from earlier to submit it for another chance to win. Giveaways will start at 5:30 Central Time. You must be present to win. Be sure to hop back into the reading lounge to enjoy Ranch. Make sure when you're leaving the breakout room, you click Leave Room and not leave meeting.
it.
Thank you, everybody.